Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing the new champion Jayce in the Baron lane. So, this champion is so amazing. He has so many things that he can do, and in today's video I'm gonna show you, well, a lot of it, right? So, in the beginning part of the video, I'm going to explain to you guys how to build Jayce. There's timestamps in the description if you just want to skip to the gameplay. By the way, I didn't make a full Jayce guide. My friend Xcoundrel, who's another YouTuber on Wild Rift, actually made a full Jayce guide. I'll put a link to it in the description when he's made it, so check that out if you want to. Alright, so my boy Jayce. This champion is so amazing. Honestly, I prefer Caitlyn. Like, I find Caitlyn more fun to play. But Jayce, like this guy, man, he has so many abilities, so many different ways that you can play him, so many different combos, it's insane. So how do you build Jayce? Man Immune, so Man Immune is a questionable item. Questionable as in, do you need it or do you not need it? By the way, this is the first day that he came out, so this build might change a little bit. The thing is, you do need Man Immune. So you can play him without a Man Immune. Then you obviously have to go for the Mana Flow Band. But it's not worth it. The Mana Immune is way better because you'll pretty much have unlimited mana with the Mana Immune. Without the Mana Immune, you're actually gonna struggle with mana. Like, you can go full lethality or you can just skip out the Mana Immune. But it's not worth it. Like, being able to constantly use your abilities, it's really what makes Jayce amazing. If you're not able to use your abilities, it's not his basic attacks that make him amazing. It's his abilities, guys. So you really need that Mana Immune. After that, you get boots. I really like Glutinous Greaves for the lifesteal, because as you can see, the items that I built don't really have any lifesteal in them. So getting the Glutinous Greaves is going to give you that 8% Omnivamp, which is pretty nice. And then the next item, boom, Yumo's Ghostblade. You're gonna be absolutely shredding the enemies after this item. It's so powerful. It also gives you ability haste, which is really good for Jayce, of course. And after that, so there's two items that you can go for. Either Black Cleaver, or you can go for Cerulda's Grudge. So let me tell you the difference between Black Cleaver and Cerulda's Grudge. They both give 40 attack damage. However, Cerulda's Grudge will give you instant armor penetration. You know, it's gonna allow you to instantly deal a lot of damage to tanks. The thing is though, Black Cleaver provides more utility to your team because you're gonna shred their armor. Or it reduces their armor, sorry. Like, the enemy that you hit 5 times in a row, you're gonna reduce their armor. So all of your allies are gonna deal more damage to that enemy, not only you. Another thing, Black Cleaver gives you 350 bonus max health. And another thing is, Cerulda's Grudge only gives you 15 ability haste, whereas Black Cleaver gives you 25. So that's why I put Black Cleaver here, because especially after the recent buff to Black Cleaver, it seems to be a better item on Jayce. And another thing, it gives you attacks, movement speed as well when you deal physical damage. Next item, Guardian Angel. There's actually some other items that you can go for. For example, With's End is a good item if the enemy is full ability power, as in they have a lot of ability power that's annoying you a lot. Like, if the enemy Katarina is pretty much one-shotting you, boom, you throw in the With's End and you're not gonna get one-shot anymore. Blade of the Rune King is really good against big HP enemies. Like, if you're against an Alistar, a Garen, a Galio, you know, just high HP units, boom, throw in that Blade of the Rune King and you're gonna be shredding right through them. That stance is interesting. I gave it a try. I don't really like it because he doesn't really have any barriers or any surviving abilities. So I don't really recommend you to go for Death Stance. If you want survivability, just get a Blade of the Rune King instead, because yeah, it gives you that healing from the Blade of the Rune King. You could also go for Deadman's Blade. I don't really recommend it, but if you really want to stack up on that armor, you just go for the Guardian Angel and then at the end, Deadman's Blade. I don't recommend it. I recommend you more to go for full damage, but it's a possibility. So for your enchantments, there's a few that you can go for. Stasis, of course, if you're against a Zed, Fizz, or anything like that. Proto Belt. Now the thing with Proto Belt especially is Jayce's third ability, when he's melee, pushes enemies away. With the Proto Belt, you can get behind those enemies and boom, push them back into your team. So, you know, you can go for Proto Belt as well. Quicksilver is also good if the enemy has heavy CC, so you can actually dodge out of it. Cleanse it, sorry. Teleport, also a good thing because you're playing in the Baron lane, so having a teleport could potentially be good. For the runes, the game shows you to go for Ahri, and even though Ahri kinda makes sense on him, just kinda, because in the lane you can poke with your first ability when you're ranged. Don't go for Ahri, because Conquer is broken, guys. It's like, they nerfed Conquer, but it's still worth way too much to go for an Ahri. Like, this one is gonna give you so much damage in those longer fights. Second item, Brutal, is like a really good early game rune and a safe late game rune. You could even go for Champion if you're a real Chad. I don't really recommend it, because If you die, of course, you lose the champion rune. So, meh, meh. I don't really recommend that. I just recommend you to go for Brutal for now and see how it evolves a little bit. Third rune, Adaptive Carapace. He's pretty strong in the early game, so this one allows you to basically secure a win early game, right? Like, if you go for Adaptive Carapace and have a Brutal or Champion rune, you should win every matchup in the lane early game. The beauty of him is that he has ranged and he has melee, so even against a ranged champion, you should do fine, because you are ranged as well. And then fourth rune, Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. However, keep in mind, you do go for Mana Flow Band if you don't go for the Mana Mune. Wait, let me switch it back. Let's see. Yeah. So for your spots, you go for Flash and Ignite, because you want to be very aggressive with the Ignite. I mean, you can go for Barrier. You can. But I prefer Ignite. But you can go for Barrier as well. It's not wrong or anything like that. So enough about the build. Let's now get into the gameplay. Alright. So this is a PvP match. And the beauty of this match is that I'm laning against the Jayce. And in this game especially, like as I said, I don't like to show you guys games where I stomp the enemy, because it happened before, but no, I prefer a game like this one, and you're about to see how it goes. The enemy Jayce had a different build from me, and that's what makes this very interesting to explain to you, because you're gonna see the differences between going for a Mana Mune or not going for a Mana Mune. You're literally gonna see the exact difference of how it's gonna go. So Jayce, like, this guy has so many things. I'm not even going to tell you everything about him because there's too much. I'm only going to tell you the important stuff that I've learned about him. So obviously his ultimate allows you to switch your weapon. See it as Jinx's first ability, right? Where she switches to rockets or she switches to her machine gun. That's basically how it works. Why am I losing this, by the way? Look, I'm losing the 1v1. As you can see, he didn't go for Sapphire Crystal. He actually went for the damage. What is it called? The blade, the metal blade. I don't know what it's called, but the attack damage item. So he actually outdamages me in the early game, as you can see. Now that's the only thing that you do with the Mana Mune, by the way. Even though Jayce is incredibly powerful in the early game, with the Mana Mune, you're perhaps delaying your power spike a little bit. So you gotta be a bit careful with that. Like, as you can see, I'm losing the 1v1 against the enemy Jayce, even though I'm pretty much doing the same thing as he's doing. He's just dealing slightly more damage every basic attack and every ability, because he has, he didn't go for the Sapphire Crystal. Now, is it worth? Let me tell you guys. After playing a considerable amount of games of Jayce, I actually recommend you to not start with the Sapphire Crystal. I actually recommend you to start with the blade, with the heavy blade. I don't know what it's called, that item, the tier 1 attack damage item. And then after you backport once, then you get the energy items. I feel like that's better, because if you start with the blade, you'll actually be stronger in the level 1 matchup, and you have Brutal and Adaptive Carapace, then you should pretty much always win the lane. But if you don't have the heavy blade, then you can still lose, of course, because you're not going to be at your strongest. So I actually recommend to not start with the Sapphire Crystal. Look at this, by the way. Boom. Of course, okay, so let me give you a short explanation of the abilities. Again, I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just, going to make you guys understand this champion. So he has 2 sets of abilities. Basically, it's like 2 champions in one. So you switch between those sets when you switch between ranged attack or your melee attack, okay? Wait, let me show you guys. I'm gonna make this very clear to you guys. This ability right here is your ultimate. As you can see, if I click on it, boom, I get ranged. If I click on it again, I'm gonna switch back to melee. Look. Oh, I actually died. But if I click on it again, I'm gonna switch to melee. And what's gonna happen is all of your abilities, all of these, like this one, and this one, are all gonna change. Right now, so let me explain to you what it is. This ability, the first ability, when you are ranged, when you're ranged, your first ability shoots like a ball. Boom, and it explodes. Okay? Look at this. I'm not gonna explain it yet. I'm gonna show you guys one by one. So when you're ranged, your first ability is like a ball. You'll shoot the ball and it deals a little bit of splash damage. Your second ability, this one, basically gives you max attack speed. It gives you the maximum amount of attack speed that you can get in the game. And you get it for 3 attacks. Also, this is a basic attack reset. So you do basic attack, second ability. So what's going to happen is boom, 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 boom. So you're going to get 4 very quick booms instead of only 3 very quick booms, because it resets your attack. Okay, now what is this ability? This ability, we're still talking about the ranged. Jayce, by the way, the ranged. The ranged ability puts like a line on the ground in front of you. You can see the enemy Jayce just used it right there. It puts a line. Look, see that? This line right there. See that line? So that line does multiple things. The first thing it does is when you or an ally moves through it, it gives a lot of bonus movement speed. So when you move through that line, it gives, look, this line, see that? This one right there, that one, that line. Oh, look at this fight. Oh, I'm losing. Even though I'm a level ahead, I'm still losing. But let's still explain to you how it all works. So that line, you know, if you move through it or if your allies move through it, you get bonus movement speed. There is another thing that the line does. When you shoot your first ability through the line, which is the ball that we talked about earlier, it becomes bigger and it splashes bigger and it deals 40% more damage. Okay? It deals 40% more damage. So that's obviously a thing to consider, you know, to put the line in front of you, to put your third ability in front of you, and then shoot your ball through it. Boom, it's gonna do more damage. Okay, so I hope you understood that. If you didn't understand, I would suggest you to rewatch because I pretty much explained everything there is to these abilities. So now let's talk about the melee abilities, right? Like when you click here, look, I click on the hammer, it becomes melee. Now I'm melee and I have different abilities. And here you can see the ranged, it becomes ranged again. That's how it works. So let's talk about the melee abilities. If I change, okay, this one. This ability, you could compare it with Jack's first ability. You guys know how Jax's first ability works, right? He jumps on an enemy. This one is a bit stronger than Jax's first ability, however. Basically what it does, you jump on an enemy like Jax, however, you actually deal damage in an area of effect and you slow the enemies for 2 seconds. So the first ability, when you're melee, allows you to jump on an enemy, deal damage in an area, and slow enemies in an area, okay? We're gonna wait because this is the ranged. You know, you can see if you have the hammer here, then when you click on it, you're gonna get the hammer abilities. If you have the ranged thingy here, then if you click on it, you're gonna have the ranged abilities. Look, I gave movement speed to me and the Z. Did you see it right there? I gave movement speed. Let's take a look at this fight. Oh, nice. Okay, let me tell you about the other abilities now. If I change. I only want to tell you if I change, because otherwise it's going to become confusing. So here, you know, you can see I can change to the hammer if I want to. I'm not doing it yet. Now I am. Okay, look, what does this ability do? The second ability, when you have a hammer, is very simple. It basically puts like an aura around you that deals damage to the enemies. That's it. That's it. Okay? It puts an aura around you. Look, this aura, see that? This yellowy aura around you. And it deals a little bit of magic damage. That's it. Okay? Nothing more to understand about it. Now let's talk about the third ability when you are melee. The third ability when you're melee, what it does is just like a slap, you know, like when your mother slaps you, and yeah, like a slap, and your head flies away. So you are the mother, you slap the enemy, and they all fly away, like, you know? So the third ability, when you are melee, is like a slap. Oh, Jayce's mother taught him pretty well, because he slaps the enemy pretty far away. You will knock back the enemies, of course, because the mother's slap is pretty hard, you know? Like, of course he's gonna knock them back. So, yes, let's repeat. Let's quickly repeat. Ranged, you have the ball that shoots. Your second ability, get max attack speed for 3 attacks. Your third ability puts a line on the ground, gives you movement speed, and it allows you to shoot the ball through it for it to become bigger and deal more damage. And when you change back to the hammer, the first ability is like a better Jax ability. It allows you to jump on an enemy, slow them, area, you know, deal damage, everything like that. The second ability puts an aura around you when you're melee, deals a little bit of magic damage. And then the third ability when you're melee is the mother slap. And it knocks back the enemies. Okay? So I hope I explained it correctly to you. Again, I recommend you to rewatch it perhaps, because it might take some time to fully understand this champion. Like, get into practice mode. And again, I suggest you to rewatch the parts that I had. So, and then, you know, try it yourself. Try the abilities yourself on the dummies, and you'll understand him. Like once you get used to him, you know, he becomes manageable, definitely. But he's not an easy champion. Let me just tell you right that this is not an easy champion at all. So let's now talk about some cool tricks. The first very cool trick that actually gives you so much more damage is, so the second ability when you're ranged, which gives you bonus attack speed for 3 attacks, you can actually queue up this ability, switch to melee, and utilize the max attack speed with your hammer. Guys, this is insane. Like this, as I said that I was not gonna tell you about all the combos, but I am gonna tell you about some that are absolutely amazing. So you can queue up the attack speed, you know, click on the second ability when you're ranged, dive on the enemy. Am I gonna do it here? Oh no, I'm just gonna use the ranged attacks. Boom, boom, boom. Look at how fast the damage is. Oh my god. I push him away as well with the slap, and I'm alive. Do you guys see that? But yeah, as I said, you can queue up the attack speed ability, change into melee, dive the enemy, and have super fast attacks. Like, it's gonna be super fast. And there you saw, by the way, when you're melee, it's so good that you can push away enemies. Because as you saw there, I was in a very sticky situation, and I actually almost survived, but the Kazakhs unfortunately killed me. By the way, guys, you know what? Again, just like the Caitlyn video, I made a Caitlyn video as well, by the way, you know, check it out somewhere. I don't know, you can look it up. If this video reaches 1,000 likes, I'm actually gonna play a lot of Jayce, like I think at least 50 games. It's probably gonna take me 100 games to master this champion. And then I'll make you guys, like, you know, a real, fully updated Jayce video. Like right now, I guess I'm decent with him, but of course it's the first day of him being out, so of course I can get way better on him, right? So if you guys want to see more Jayce, make sure you give this video a like, and yeah, if it reaches 1,000 likes, I'll make like a better Jayce video in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It depends on how long it takes me to get good at him, right? By the way, guys, also put down a comment under the video. I don't know what you should comment, to be honest, but I guess it just helps the channel. Look at this, by the way. Did you see how I just completely demolished that Caitlyn? I'm not gonna explain the combo that I did to you because it's too much. It's too much. But as I said, I recommend you to get into practice mode. You know, check out what you can do and what you cannot do. Understand the abilities, and you'll figure out combos yourself. Really, like you'll actually figure out combos yourself. Well, the only good thing about him is that he doesn't have an ultimate. His ultimate is only switching weapons, so I guess that's a little easy to understand. By the way, there's also an extra thing with switching weapons. Yes, there is even more, guys. So when you switch from your hammer, which is the melee weapon, to the ranged weapon, your next attack is going to be enhanced, and it's going to shred the enemy's armor. It's going to shred like 20% of their armor for 5 seconds. So against a tanky enemy who has a lot of armor, it's actually good to initiate the fight by changing into your ranged weapon, because you're gonna shred his armor. When you change to your melee weapon, you're gonna do a lot of bonus damage. It's just gonna give you a lot of bonus damage, you know, not really shredding armor, just some bonus damage. And another thing, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, but there is another thing. Whenever you switch your ultimate, whenever you switch your weapon, you get bonus movement speed. You get like 40% bonus movement speed for 1.25 seconds. So you want to be constantly changing up those weapons. 1, because you want to utilize all of your abilities. 2, because you want to utilize the bonus that you get from the next attack when you switch your weapons. And 3, because you want to utilize the bonus movement speed that it grants you. So basically, you want to switch your weapons constantly, like constantly, because you're going to get so many bonuses from it. I switched it again. Look at this. Boom, boom. Yeah, I was just going to say he had to die here. Boom. Look at that, man. How powerful is this champion, though? He's actually really strong. The new champions are really good. Like Caitlyn and Jayce are both very solid picks in the game right now. Did he see me? Oh yeah, he did. Oh, and another thing. Oh my god. Your heads must be like hurting right now. Another thing, I'm sorry. When you have your melee weapon, when you have the hammer, the melee weapon, you get a lot of bonus defenses. Okay? You get armor and magic resist. So of course, you know, when you get your melee weapon, you can be a little more aggressive because you're gonna be tankier. When you switch back to your ranged, you're gonna lose those bonuses. Okay? It's a trade-off, you know, you're literally trading off range for defense. You know, that like you're trading off stuff when you keep switching up. But as I said, you want to be switching up all the time because it has so many advantages with Jayce. And really, like, just play him, guys. Just play him. Like, it's gonna take you a few games. It's really gonna take you a few games, but once you get used to him a little bit, then you can start to experiment with combos, you know, trying this and trying that, and then, you know, you can actually get really good at this champion, Jayce. So just give him a go, see how it goes. Again, apply what I said earlier in this video. Those are the basics really of Jayce, and you'll figure it out. Like, you'll figure it out. And of course, I'm gonna make an updated video as well. By the way, if you're new to the channel, I'm pretty much a consistent challenger player, and I play every single champion in the game, every single role. I even do troll builds in ranked matches. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, I upload every single day. So yeah, if you want to see that, of course, you're always welcome to subscribe and check out some other videos that I have. Because I have some nice videos on my channel, I mean. What I always recommend to new people on my channel is to just check out my most popular videos, because those are absolutely amazing. There is a reason that they're the most popular, right? And then another thing, some people don't know, I actually have a lot of playlists on my channel. I have a playlist for every single role in the game, you know, the jungle, Baron lane, Dragon lane, mid lane, support, whichever role you want to see. Check out my playlists, you know, click on the Dragon lane playlist, for example, and you're gonna see every single Dragon lane video of mine, every single one. So yeah, you know, if you want that, look at this. The Soraka's healing me up so much, by the way. Is this a sign that I'm ever gonna do a Soraka video? Perhaps. I don't know. فترة فترة طلعنا أخي شيخنا ما قبتها لا أقول لك أوكي بس ده فترة من نوخه بعدها كده بأخذ أنا بدو فترة تجاني ده يعني لا أخذ الدعوة وفي 5 minutes بخلصهم. It's good. Sorry guys, just had to do some if you actually understood what I just said, by the way, then you're an absolute legend. If you actually genuinely understood what I just said, then I want you to send me a DM on Discord right now, and we're gonna be friends. Just saying. Because I can guarantee you that absolutely no one understood what I just said. It's like a very ancient language that I speak. Also, for the people that are asking, you know, that like a lot of people keep asking me, what languages do you speak besides English? It's Dutch and the language that I just spoke. So yeah, you know. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a like. Well, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say that again. Stupid. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let's take a look at how much damage I did and everything like that. Come on, look at how slow my phone is. Like Samsung, man, really? Of course, I got the MVP. I did 30,000 damage. Pretty good, pretty good. So. Thank you guys so much for watching. Look at this sweater, by the way. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.